As I was praying with today's gospel, with Mother's Day on my mind, I thought I'd share a reflection about how mothers are really the symbol of the sacrificial love that Jesus calls us to in today's gospel. So all mothers, they're one of the best symbols we have of the sacrificial love of Jesus. And so as I reflect upon the story of my mother, it's an opportunity for each one of us to reflect upon how our mothers have revealed the sacrificial love of Jesus. So as I was praying with what I'd like to share, I had three words come to mind. So first is home, my home. Second's my secret. And third is my bridge. So first is my home. For 9 months, my mother's womb became my home. And she had to make a lot of room for me to move in. And it's so true for mothers. Like, the foods that they eat have to change. The things that they drink have to change. Their schedule is radically changed. They have to make so much room for us to move in to this home. And to be clear, like, this is not a hotel for 9 months. This is a home. A home is a place of love. And so when I look at pregnant women and I see that expanding tummy, it's also a sign of something deeper at work. I really believe it's a sign of an expanding heart. The expanding tummy is really a symbol of the expanding heart that all the mothers have for the child that for 9 months rests beneath that heart. We heard in today's gospel, Jesus says, "As the Father loves me, so I have loved you. Abide in my love." And every mother could say these exact words to her baby in the womb. As the Father has loved me, so I have loved you. Abide in my love. So I got to abide in my mother's love for 9 months. Just get to receive 100% from my mother. And this is not just an experience of 9 months of being in my mother's womb as her home, but it's something that has kept in my heart, something that I've had for my whole life. A really profound example of this is in episode 3 of season 2 from The Chosen. There's an awesome scene in which the disciples are gathered around the campfire with Mary, and they're asking her to share about her pregnancy, what that was like for Mary to say yes to having the Messiah come to give birth to the Son of God. And she said that she was amazed because here is the Son of God. He's cold, crying, and needed my help. And she says, I wondered how long that would last, where her son, the Son of God, would need her help. And then she says, he doesn't need me anymore, not since we taught him how to walk and eat. He hasn't needed me for a long time, I suppose. And then Mary says, as a mom, it makes me sad sometimes. So we hear the kind of heartache from Mary at the campfire, and then soon after, Jesus, after spending a full day of curing people, walks back, and he is just absolutely exhausted. And he's covered in sweat, blood, and he just says, "Good night." And everyone's just in shock, just utter silence. And Jesus goes over to the tent, and he can't undo his sandal. That's how exhausted he is. And Mary, as the mother, the heart of a mother, she runs over to him, and she starts to take care of him. And Jesus says, "Oh, Emma, thank you." And so she starts to wash his hands and feet and forehead. And he says, "I'm a mess." And then he says these beautiful words, "What would I do without you?" And Mary just kind of tucks him in to bed. And it's just such a beautiful symbol of even Jesus as a grown man, same age as me, still has this deep need to be taken care of by his mother. It's like she was still able to provide a place of home for Jesus on his travels. And so even though I'm like Father Richard and my mom will call me Father Richard, still there's this deep craving in my heart to have a mother who just provides that place of home wherever I go. The second word that I came up with is my secret. My secret. So, when people are successful in life, the others say, like, what's your secret to success? And when I was reflecting upon this, and in today's gospel, we hear these words that the Father will give you whatever you ask him in my name. I remember in grade 12 at Vancouver College, I took these words literally, that the Father will give you whatever you ask him in my name. So I thought, okay, God, here I am in grade 12, and I really want a brand new car. So I remember praying to God, okay, God, in the name of Jesus, I want a brand new car. And so I remember trying to convince my dad to give me a new car, and he's saying, you haven't earned any money, at best, I'm going to give you a used car. And so then I'm like trying to work on my mom, trying to convince my mom to convince my dad to get me a brand new car. Because I'm going down to a really expensive place in California, and I want a brand new car. And so I'm trying to work on my mom. And then there's the VC Mayfair, and the top prize that year is a brand new car. And I didn't think much of it. I was playing golf with my dad, and I remember getting a call from my mom to say that her raffle ticket won the top prize, a brand new car. And then my mom was giving this to me. And so it's like that I was reminded of this event in which my mom was kind of like, throughout my whole life, kind of like my secret to success is my mom. But on a deeper level, she reveals just the playful love and joy of God. I could just imagine God up there just looking down upon that whole situation, almost kind of like giggling, like just setting things up. And through my mother, through her love for me, buying that ticket, giving me the car, everything, it's just one special sign of how she's kind of my secret to success. The last thing I thought about from my mother is my bridge. Jesus says that no one has greater love than to lay down your life for one's friends. And some of you might have heard about this image that St. Catherine of Siena had. Okay? So St. Catherine of Siena had this vision where there was all of humanity on one side and God on the other. And by sin created this infinite chasm. It was like this raging river of sin that divided humanity and God. And it made it impossible for humanity, for us to get back into relationship with God. And so what did God do? God became one of us. And then by the cross was the bridge over the infinite chasm of the raging river so that we could walk back to God. And this story of how the cross is somewhat the bridge that can bring us back to God is still taking place today. People can participate in this cross and allow others to get back into union with God. And I remember when my mother was diagnosed with cancer, she said so many times, "This is my cross. This is something I have to accept." And I think little did she know that embracing that cross would actually become the bridge by which I was able to walk back to God. And so my mother, through her cancer, embracing that cross that she had, it became a bridge that actually led me back to God. So these are just some of the reflections that I've had this morning. It's something that I've realized, like, my heart is really full of gratitude right now for the gift of my mother and how she's been so clearly revealing the sacrificial love of Jesus for me. All of us, we should just take time to reflect upon how our mothers have revealed the sacrificial love of God to us. It might be that simple thing about actually thinking about what it would be like for 9 months to have your home in your mother's womb. Just think about what that was like. Or it could be, how your mother has helped you become successful in life. She's my secret. Or it could just be this aspect of the bridge and how your mother might be laying down her life right now to lead you back to God. Hopefully this time of reflection today for Mother's Day can fill us with gratitude so that we want to repay our mothers in any way we can, at least by a word of thank you or a card or whatever you can do. We all deserve to repay our mothers back in some special way for the gift of showing us God's sacrificial love.